I will try to explain what is the exchange rate here, and after I have explained that you understood, and then I will come up with the rules for you to apply so that you can work out as quickly as possible. Okay, let's start with the three exchange rate rules. The first one is the reference currency. You always in exchange, you're always involving two currency here. So you should be able to identify what is the reference currency. So say that you are given 10 Hong Kong dollar is equal to £1. So the exchange rate between the Hong Kong dollar and the pound here, it is a 10 there. So this rate here is referring to the Hong Kong dollar. So in this quotation, Hong Kong dollar, it is a reference currency. And the other currency will be 1 unit usually. Second thing is, you are given the rate there, should you multiply or should you divide? So that will depend on whether you are changing the Hong Kong dollar, which is a reference currency, to the pound, or the pound to the reference currency. Okay, so that's very simple. You just have to remember this one here. The same currency, if you divide, will give you another currency. Okay, example here, let's say that we are assuming that is 10 Hong Kong dollar is equal to £1. So we have understood that 100 Hong Kong dollar will be equal to £10. So we know that will be the answer. So knowing this is the answer here, we want to do it quickly. So we must come up with the rules. So like I said just now that it is the same currency. If you divide, it should give you another currency. So this one here is Hong Kong dollar is a reference currency. So this is also same as a reference currency. So Hong Kong dollar, if you divide by Hong Kong dollar, should give you the pound here. So you take 100, you divide by $10 here, should give you the pound here. Okay, so same currency, if you divide, it give you another currency. So I just put down your conclusion here. Okay, so understand, then you need to come up with the rules. So the other way is, you see that this is 150 pound here. So this is different from the reference currency. Hong Kong dollar is a reference currency here. So since the same currency you divide, so if it's a different currency, you should then multiply. So you take the figure 150, then you multiply by the rate. That will give you the answer of 1,500 Hong Kong dollar. Okay, all you need to do actually is just to remember one. Same currency you divide, give you the other currency. Okay, we can now move on to rule number 3. And when you come to rule number 3, I will see from the company's perspective instead of from the bank's perspective. So of course the bank perspective, it is just the opposite. We have to anchor into one. So normally when you use exchange rate, is the one we are the one that want to exchange, or company wants to exchange. So I'll see it from the company's point of view or our point of view here. So let's say that you were given this rate here in a bank. They give you 10.1 Hong Kong dollar, 10.25 Hong Kong dollar for £1 here. So of course we know that from rule number 1, Hong Kong dollar is a reference currency. So the question now we want to ask is, this 10.1 here is for us to buy Hong Kong dollar, sell Hong Kong dollar, buy pound, or sell pound. So we will do the analysis here. Understand, we come up with a rule so they can apply in practice, or if you are taking an examination, you can always apply it with no confusion. So never analyze in an exam or in practice, otherwise you will get very confused. So let's begin saying that you went to UK. Okay, then you come back to Hong Kong, you still have £1,000 with you, and you go to the bank give you this rate here, 10.1, 10.25. So you bring this amount of pound here, you go to the bank and you want to exchange. So we now want to apply, that is rule number 2, okay, and also rule number 1. So this is a pound here, and reference currency is Hong Kong dollar. We know that different currency we will have to multiply. So you take the 1,000, then you have to multiply by the rate. So of course, if you go to the bank, okay, to exchange at 1,000 pound here, they were going to give you less Hong Kong dollar than more Hong Kong dollar, because bank is up there to make profit. Okay, so they are going to multiply by this rate here, 10.1. So you will get back Hong Kong dollar 10100. So we understand that that will be the rate that the bank will be using. Okay, yeah. Now, after understand, we want to come up with the rules to help you to do the calculation as fast as possible and without any mistake. Okay, yeah. So let's analyze. You bring this £1,000 to the bank. You are effectively sell the £1,000 to the bank. So from our perspective, we are selling the pound here. So the rate the bank giving us is 10.1. Okay, yeah. So we know that is a sell pound rate there. But we want to remember the reference currency. Our reference currency here is Hong Kong dollar. So when we are selling the pound to the bank, in exchange, we are buying the Hong Kong dollar. So the rate here is for us to sell the pound, and in exchange, the same rate actually is for us to buy the Hong Kong dollar, which is buy the reference currency. We only want to remember the reference currency. So this buy Hong Kong dollar. So then we have established this rate here. Okay, yeah, we just have to remember reference currency. So this is for us to buy the Hong Kong dollar reference currency. And 10.25 must be the one for us to sell the Hong Kong dollar or sell the reference currency. Okay, yeah? So we understand, logical, and then you have to memorize here. Okay, yeah? So let's go through some example. So let's say that you're given this rate here in the bank 0.8 pound, 0.85 pound to the US dollar. So this is the lower rate here. From our perspective, this is for us to buy the reference currency, which is a pound here. This is for us to sell the reference currency or sell the pound here. So I have four cases here. That is buy pounds, buy dollar, sell pounds, sell the dollar. So we are now going to apply what we have learned in rule 1, rule number 2, rule number 3 here. Okay, yeah? So we know that reference currency is a pound here. And the first case is we are dealing with the pound. So we should be dividing pound divided by pound. And here it is a buy pound. That should be the first rate, the lower rate, 0.8 pound. Then we get the answer in the US dollar. So that would mean that in order to buy 100,000 pounds here, it costs us 125,000 US dollar. So let's look at the second one. The second one is involving the dollar, which is different from the reference currency. So we have to multiply. So 150,000 and then multiply. And this is buy dollar here. We only remember buy pound, sell pound. Buy dollar in exchange should be the sell pound rate. So you should be multiplying by 0.85 pound here. So to buy the US dollar here, that will cost us 127,500 pound. Let's move on to the third one. Sell pound here, same as a reference currency, you should divide the 50,000. And sell pound, you should be taking the sell pound rate of 0.85. That will give us US dollar 58,824 rounded up. So the last one is to sell the dollar here. So dollar and pound, different currency. So we have to multiply again. Sell dollar in exchange should be the buy pound rate of 0.8. We have 92,000 pounds here. So I hope that with this explanation, rule 1, 2, and 3, you're very clear on how to exchange from one currency to another currency, and you know which is a buy rate, which is a sell rate.